Hello everyone, it's Grandma. Baby decided to sleep in her bed. She didn't want to get up out of her house, so we'll see. She might change her mind, and if so, I'll go grab her. So I'm here working on my little baby's blanket. You know, my little sweet little girl, my Chihuahua. She's my baby, so when I say baby, that's her. And I'm doing the edging. As you can see, I really wanted it small. I didn't really want a very big blanket, because this is just going to cover her here on the desk. So I don't have to keep pulling her blanket out of her bed. And I'm doing the edging. Now, if you look at this is one row. This is another row. I go by these little lines right here. And then in between each one of these lines, I'll do two, I'm doing half double crochets. I decided I wasn't gonna go by the pattern. I was just gonna do my own border. And I'll go around it probably a couple of times, and then I'll do the moss stitch. Or I'll do something like that, whatever I decide at the moment. So I'm just putting two in each row, trying to space it out. Let's see, there's one. Yeah, you got to try to space these out a little even. And my thing is, if it's single crochet rows, I'll do one stitch per row on the edge. If it's a half double crochet, I'll do two. If it's a double crochet, I usually do either 2 or 3 stitches. I chose to do 2 on these rows, but that's not an absolute. You just gotta do you, whatever that means to you. On trebles, I'll do 3 or 4. And again, it just depends. Oh, I did a double instead of a half double. But I try to keep the same amount of stitches in each row. And when I say row, it's one row of, we did double crochets, and each row double crochets on the edge. I'm putting 2. And I do it right in that last stitch. Some people will go in the little dips. I like doing it right in the stitch. No rhyme or reason. I just do. Now suddenly I'm just gonna keep not being able to do it. I've been doing it right along now for the last hour. Yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. So I'm here crocheting, and I thought, I'll just come on and chit chat for a while. And yeah, I was just watching all that stuff going on down in Texas, the flooding, and all those kids, and 80 gone. It's just so sad. Now, why I'm taking such an interest to it is because in that area of the floods is where I owned a house in Texas, right there by 183A. So it's kind of like, oh wow, 2 years ago I was living there. And we moved up here after my husband had a stroke 2 years ago. And so we moved out of that house 2 years to the day this month. We sold it, and we sold it for $400K, and we came up here and just bought this house outright, so we didn't have to worry about a mortgage payment and someday being homeless. So there's always that. But yeah, all that people flooding and their houses washed away, and one of the rivers that flooded is only like a quarter of a mile from where we was living. And I know some of that area, the houses got ruined, but I don't know if it's our old house or not. I haven't, everything that I've been watching, I haven't been able to figure that out. So I've been watching all the videos to see if I can get a, you know, an idea. Of course, I'm not gonna, you know, go and research it and see if I can get some other details about it, but it's sad. Oh, why am I having such a hard time right now? Sad. I come on here and I'm struggling. I'm not nervous or anything. It's just sometimes stuff like this happens and you just gotta work with it. Oh, maybe that's why, because it wasn't a stitch. It was saying, no, don't make a stitch here. Yeah, I feel so bad. I worked right there in Williamson County and used to travel those roads every day and went over those bridges that washed away. I mean, it's like a scary thought that sometimes things happen, you know, and it's really a blessing. You know, now I see it as a blessing. All that horrible stuff that happened 2 years ago was probably a blessing. Could have been worse if we stayed there. But we're all safe. My family's safe anyways. Yeah, when my son the other night, or was it the other night? I think it was in the afternoon on the 4th of July, I got a message saying that there was something like 24 kids missing or something. And I'm like, what? What do you mean there's 24 kids missing? Yeah, 24 kids missing. And all I was thinking was that it was like a serial killer on the loose. You know, it's like, and then I finally got the whole story and I was like, oh, that's worse than what I was thinking. Well, either way, it's bad. But whenever there's something crazy, I always think the worst. I always prepare for the worst. People say you're crazy, but you know what? It's best to be prepared for anything in this world right now. Best to be prepared. About, I'm going to say about 3 years ago, it could be 4, but about 3 years ago, when we were living in Texas, right there in Leander, we had a major ice storm. I mean, Texas, it's always hot. You know, I'm a Maine girl. I'm from Maine, and I'm used to having 4 seasons. In Texas, you have summer and you have spring. There is no fall, there's no really winter. But this particular year, we actually had a winter. It was an ice storm, and that ice storm stayed for a few weeks. Now, as I said, I'm a preparer. Everyone would mock me. Oh my goodness, Mom, why are you, preparing for doomsday, because I prepared you know, especially after 2020, the whole C thing happened. I prepared food-wise. My cabinets were full of food. I had shelves in the dining room put in, a few shelves. Those were full of food. My freezers were full. I had 2 freezers. I had 2 refrigerators. And everything was full, and then the ice storm hit. Now, we had power, so we was one of the lucky ones. And we had a way to heat, even if we didn't have power, because we had a gas fireplace. And my daughter ended up coming to stay with us because they had no power, and they were freezing. They had no water. The water pipes froze. So she stayed with me for 2 weeks. Well, actually, longer than that. It took longer to get everything going. And I had plenty of water because I prepared. I was preparing. I had quite a few cases of water. I had plenty of food for all of us. So it was a blessing for us, you know, because we was okay. We was okay. And even if we lost power, I still had backups. I had one of those wind-up radios. I still have it in the closet. I had flashlights. I had candles. I had little stoves, you know, where I can still cook from. It was just great. So we did not, you know, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't have to. The roads were all bad anyways. Texas don't believe in icing or sanding their bad roads, so everyone just had to wait until it thawed out. And I was retired, and my husband at that time, he was working from home. So everyone, you know, life continued on for us, but there was so many people. It did not continue on for them. It was horrible. So many people, but I was willing to open my doors, you know, to what people needed and needed help with, and gave neighbors some food, water. So we was all okay. It pays to be prepared for anything. And I'm still that way. I'm that way with my yarn. You know, if suddenly the world ended with yarn, I'd be all right for a couple of years. No problem. And I could continue to crochet every day. I'll be okay. It's just the way I am. It's the way I was brought up. I mean, my grandmother had a room in her house that was just, you know, canned, you know, veggies from the garden. She canned up everything. Jams, blueberries, everything. She even made her own peanut butter. She made her own beer. I don't know what kind of beer it was. I never watched her make it, but it was always kept in a metal tin can beside the refrigerator, and that's where it sat for a while until she bottled it. We just always knew we weren't allowed to touch it. God, those were the days. Fond memories. You know, every time I use a sandwich bag or a freezer bag, whether it's a quart or a gallon, I use them both to freeze my meats. I think of my grandmother because she used to save every one of those freezer bags back then. And I'm going back like 50 years ago. She would wash them out and hang them up to dry. She would have a clothesline that ran in the kitchen. And she also had a clothesline outside on the back porch that ran to one of the trees. And there'd be baggies hanging to dry. I remember seeing them. And she had an old-fashioned wringer washer machine. I don't know if you guys remember them or ever seen them, but I used to help her sometime when I was younger, and I'd stay there for a few weeks in the summer, I'd help her. I used to just think it was, you know, wow. It was a wow. All right, that part's done. I did half doubles all the way around it. And let's see, where's my 3? All right, that one's my 3. Now I'm gonna do another row of half doubles. So I am gonna connect that right there, do 3 in that corner. Gotta do 3 in the corner, no cheating. Whether it's a half double, a single crochet, a double crochet, gotta put at least 3. And now I'm just gonna keep going around. No rhyme or reason, I'm just wanting to make a good, steady, thick row. After this one, I'll do something different. And the reason I'm doing another row is because even though this is pretty good, it's pretty straight, you know, you see some little dips, but for the most part, it's a pretty good steady row. But when you put on the next row, it straightens it out even more. And so that's what I'm judging my rows by. Some people can go around and make it perfect with their first try. I'll oftentimes do it twice. Now I could do it with my moss stitch now and it'll look fine, but I want it to look fine when I start that. And I might change my mind, who knows? Maybe I'll like it without that last row of single crochets and chains. Now, I don't know if you guys watched my last video on how we were putting this together and making it, but my last video shows us starting this. And I decided to make a small one. But you can, you know, the directions are from Hobby. It's a free pattern called Paws Prints. And the directions gives you the numbers for a small, medium, and large blanket. And I decided to do the small because this was for baby, my little pet chihuahua, my little tiny, tiny chihuahua. My great-grandmother and my aunt had chihuahuas, and baby, she's now an adult. She is smaller than either one of those two chihuahuas. I probably sometimes in her pictures that I take, she looks kind of big, but she's very, very slender and really petite. She's such a princess. I've had large dogs. I've usually always just liked the large dogs. And she is my tiniest dog I've ever had. But normally I have, you know, I've had German Shepherds. I've had, what else have I had? I've had, God, I've had so many different kinds of dogs. I've had collies, border collies. I've had a lot of just what I call a mutt. Heinz 57, or what are those other phrases you would call just a mixed breeds? Like, who knows what they are supposed to be. You know, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm here by myself. Everyone's in bed, and it's really so peaceful. It's so relaxing, so calming, and it's like I'm sitting here talking to y'all, and I really feel like you're there. Even though no one watches my videos, it's still like comforting to know that y'all here, and thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I'm just a lonely old lady, even though I don't really have very many gray hairs. My mom didn't have very many gray hairs either when she passed away. And she never dyed it. I've never dyed my hair. But I don't have much of gray hair, so everyone's shocked when they find out I'm a great-grandmother. Eventually, I'm going to start doing lives. I did a live a couple of days ago, and it was just a test to see how it went and how it go and how to do it, that type of stuff. Just testing the waters. And no one came, of course. Just myself. But I think if I ever go live and someone actually comes in, I'd be so nervous. But I do plan on going live. I want to get my hair cut, and right now it's overgrown. And besides, I like sitting here in my jammies. This is what I normally do. At a certain point, I get into my jammies and I get comfy. I watch YouTube videos on all the other crochet channels, and yeah, I do hope, you know, I don't even know if you can, actually. I've never even tried, but hopefully people let me know their channels so that I can watch your videos as well. I think that would be so cool. I know some channels do not like people talking about other channels or wanting other channels being mentioned in their channels. I am not like that. It does not bother me if you come to my channel and just talk about another channel. I don't feel threatened about that at all. As a matter of fact, I see us as a community, and I really believe that we all should help each other grow. There's room for everybody. I feel like we're all neighbors, even though, you know, you don't live right next door to me. You do. And here in the channel, I want us to be like a family or buddies or friends, and share our love for crocheting and yarn and where the best deals are. And, you know, if you have a channel, you know, when are you going live? I won't go live when you go live. I could care less if you go live when I go live. But you know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. Just let me know. Yeah, one of the things that I've been looking at right now is I don't want to go live when all those that I like have gone live. When they go live, I won't do that. At least to the ones that I watch. I don't want to interrupt anybody. But I'm trying to figure out a good times for me to go live. So I've been, like I'm always up till my time on the Eastern time. I live in Ohio on the Eastern time frame. And right now it's probably, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning now. I could even go live then, you know. There's a guy that's on live usually around 1 o'clock too. Might be just on weekends. I was looking around, I didn't see anyone on live right now. So it might end up being a late night. I don't know. I'll have to keep looking. Yeah, I was just seeing these here. I'm starting to build up a collection of these bags. Ah, got another one. I even have another one somewhere. I think it's over there on the shelf. Aren't they cute? Let's see, do they all have scissors? Yep, they all have scissors. They all have stitch markers and stickers. This one's got stickers and scissors, tape measures. Yep, they all have pretty much the same, but it's a great idea, isn't it? Little note in this one. It's like, oh, nice little keepsakes, right? Oh, that's scissors, needles. Eventually I'll open them up, but right now I think they're so cute, I'm collecting them. Maybe one day I'll send them back to Juan. Not that I don't like them, I do. But this is stuff that, you know, I have many, many of. I do like the stickers though. If I had a cup, I would put them all on one of my drinking cups. I probably could. This would be a good cup to put stickers all over. My tea. Oh. Baby sound asleep. The whole house is quiet. I think it's my favorite part of the day is late at night. But, you know, I've worked third shift this time for years, like 30 years maybe. I worked nights like this, overnights. And in my retirement, I've been retired now since, 2 years. 2.5 years maybe. It'll be 3 years, I think. I think it'll be 3 years this December. When I retired on Christmas Eve. I wanted Christmas off. Well, I hope you guys all start really watching, leaving comments. I am looking forward to that day. I hope it happens. If not, I'll still be here next year, even if it's just me. It gives me something to do, gives me something to plan out. So how many of you guys save your yarn like this in a jar, all your little scraps? Everyone has a special project. Yeah. I wish there was something, instead of using it as stuffing, because that's what I mainly use it for, is stuffing. Not that I need to, I have so much stuffing because Joann's went out of business and I bought so much. I got enough stuffing that if I made an amigurumi every single day for the next 2-3 years, I'd have stuffing for it. So I don't need any stuffing. So why I'm still saving that instead of throwing it out, I guess it's good still to be frugal, right? Still good. Well, I've been looking around to see what kind of project, because this is just about done. Mama Swift is doing her last what did she call it? Begins. I can't remember it, but the project that I have with Mama Swift, that blanket's almost done. Last week is this Thursday, so I have to figure out what I'm going to make next. I'm working on the blue blanket still, but I'm taking a break from it. Alright, where is my... I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Right there. Do up my 3. I'll go up this side, get 2 more sides, and then I'm gonna do the last row. I probably won't keep you guys all here this long, but when I do finish this, I will show it to y'all. Oop. There's so much going on in the world. So much. I oftentimes watch a channel that's called New York Prepper or NY Prepper, and he has a very different kind of YouTube channel. He pretty much keeps track of all the, like the Ukraine and Russian war, the Pakistan and India war, you know, the whole Israel and Iran, America and Iran. He keeps track of all that. And, you know, it's just ongoing 24/7. His channel goes 24/7. And it's just news, news, news. So this, oftentimes, I just sit down, crochet, and just listen if he's talking, or I read from his mods printing in the chat room, chat area, and just trying to keep up with the world news. Then the inflation prices, crazy. I go shopping for the house. You know, I go shopping for my daughter, granddaughter, my husband, and I. And it's just ridiculous. The prices. It's like I come home, what you buy? Chicken. Chicken. Because you can't afford beef anymore. It's like so insane. The prices are just horrible. So I wait till things go on sale, and then I stock up. Last month they had like spaghetti, you know, the noodles, the pasta in boxes, and the sauce, a certain type of sauce. They had them all on sale, really good prices. Like, I think it was, what were they, like a 99 cents each or something. Normally they're like $1.59. So I bought like a ton. I got one closet. The shelves are full of pasta noodles and stuff. So I don't need pasta for a while. Now it's right back up there. $1 something a box. $1.49, I think it is. Nope, no thank you. And meat. Insane. It's just insane. I'm speechless. You know, I remember going shopping 20 years ago, or before the big C. And man, we had steak, we had ribeyes, you know, once a week. Now, no. $20 a ribeye? Really? I saw a 3-pack, a family pack, that's on special this week of ribeye steaks. So I went over and I looked at them thinking I was going to be able to buy some. $75 for that package of 3 ribeyes. I'm like, that is no special. You're treating it like it's really, really special, but that's not a special. So needless to say, I did not buy steaks. Really sad. For my birthday last year. No, was it for my birthday? No, it was for Mother's Day. My daughter actually bought me a package of 3 steaks. 3 ribeyes. I was like, Brandy, you shouldn't have done that. I wouldn't pay for those prices. She goes, I know, that's why I'm buying them for you. That's just so insane. But that's all right. That's all right. You know, when I think about it, it's like, this too will pass. It'll be all right. It will be all right. It will pass. Everything will be good. I'll find all kinds of great ways to make chicken. And I love chicken. So there you go. It's my favorite food. And baby loves chicken. So we'll eat just fine. But I have 3 freezers. So I don't buy a lot of meat right now. I'm trying to use up what's in my freezers. And I'm glad I bought it when it was cheaper. But when meat's on sale, I'll pick up some. If it's not on sale, I don't buy meat. And that's okay because I got a lot of it. Just like I got a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. I told my husband earlier today, you know, he has a hard time speaking, you know, but for the most part, I pretty much can understand what he's saying. And oftentimes I finish his sentences because he gets stuck on his sentences, on his words. But I was telling him, I was like, yep, I'm going to move out your TV stand that you're not using anymore from your office. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of shelves along there. And I'm going to add yarn. He just like, no. Keep in here. I don't care how much you buy, keep it in here. Not my office. I understood him as clear as day. I do love teasing him. I shouldn't tease him, but I enjoy it. We have good laughs, especially with some of the things he comes out with. You know, not that having a stroke and having aphasia is funny, but it's good if you can still have a good time with what it is that God has blessed you with, even if it's something as bad as a stroke. All strokes are bad, no matter how it leaves you. And, you know, he does say some funny things, some fun things. And he'll laugh at it too. But I help him. Like, you mean scrambled eggs, not slaughtered eggs? Well, you know what I mean. And then he said, I can't believe I said that. And I did have videos of him when he first had a stroke and he was still in the hospital, and then he went to rehab, so that I could see and know what, you know, him getting better, you know, was, because I could refer to those videos. And I show them to him from time to time. And he'll laugh at them too. Yeah, having a stroke is a very serious, sad thing. He thought he was born in 1942. He gave his date of birth. That would have made him older than my dad, when he's actually a little younger than me. He thought I was his mother. He kept calling me Mom. And then there was a time he thought I was his sister, and he doesn't even have a sister. But I'm glad that all got better. But he still has his days where he has rough days still. I think the saddest part is because he has a hard time with a lot of words, and he uses, like, if a word starts with an R, he'll use a random word that starts with an R. And sometimes it sounds like he's saying something bad to someone, or being rude, or not being a good person. Let's just put it that way. And I have to tell even my family members, hey, look, please don't take offense to anything he might say. And they're finally, you know, getting it. They don't take offense anymore. And I used to. He used to get me so upset by some of the things he would say to me. And then, you know, I had a long talk with his speech therapist, and she says, no, he is not meaning those words. He's unable to say the words. And he thinks that he's saying the right word. He doesn't realize he's not saying the right word. But he's starting to now know. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, this is gonna be almost gonna start my single crochets and do my final edge. Then baby will have a new blanket. It's funny, I'm making a baby blanket, but it's not for a baby, a human baby. It's for a chihuahua, a miniature chihuahua that's my baby. I don't know how long this video is. I can't really see the timer on it, and I didn't look at the clock when I started. So I think I am gonna leave here pretty quick. Well, not pretty quick, but pretty soon. One of these days I'd like to do a tour of this room. I almost have it where I want it, or how I want it. It's so small and I have so much in here. It's like insanely small. I've heard some say, oh, it looks so much bigger now that the couch is out. But I don't know, I think it looks smaller. Yeah, I put up more shelves for yarn, and all the yarn I had in stash, they're all full. They are all full right now. Let's see, yeah, this is the one. All right. And we're off. No, doing singles. Oh. You know, I don't know if I'll do that stitch because I don't want baby's toenails. One thing about crocheted or knitted blankets, their toenails easily. And so I think I'm not going to do that stitch. I think I'm just going to end it right there, actually. Yeah, I think I'll just end it right there. There we have a blanket. And I'll weave in those ends. Well, and there we have baby's new blanket. So when she comes up here, she can be covered up in her little pet blanket, paw blanket. Isn't that cute? I'm glad I didn't use the bulky 5 now that this is all set, because I always fold her blanket that's going on her in half, and that's pretty heavy. Maybe maybe I'll do something like that. Well, we'll see when she comes up. But that's perfect for her. I like that for her. There. Now I have all this I gotta cake up because I can't put that away like that. So I'm gonna have to cake that up. Do that tomorrow. And I don't know, no longer need a crochet hook. I'll put it back. Well, there we have it, everyone. My blanket's done that I started much earlier today with you all. It's on my last video. So if you want to know how this is made and where we got the pattern and everything, that's there. I even believe I put the link in the description of, and you know, from the last video. So do check that out. Baby's still sleeping. So I'm probably gonna drink some water and head to bed myself since it's almost 3:30. So thank you for giving me this time. And if you made it this far and you haven't fallen asleep, thank you for watching. And all I can say is be kind to one another. Love on your pets. If you don't have a pet and looking for one, consider, a rescue pet. Both of my pets are rescue pets, and I have not, I've not regretted it at all. They're both great. I think it's because they know where they came from and they appreciate it. And every day they show they appreciate being here with us. They love it. And I remember where they were from and it was not good. So thank you again and good night. Bye-bye.